morning and welcome to ESC. No, not enigmatically shitty characters, but Extreme Scrutiny Club. Every few weeks, each of your hosts brings a robot to the table, and we vote as a collective on whether it should be immortalized in the arena or should be cast into the Pit of Oblivion. We are your hosts.
What up, it me, it Raira. I yell at things.
Hi, I'm Oliver, the Dork Knight.
And I'm Sean, and today we're joined by...
Will from Hypershock. What's up?
Hey! It's Bill from Wales.
In a constant attempt to make this podcast better every single time, we have resolved to bring Mr. Suckless himself onto the podcast.
That's why I'm here.
How can our podcast suck if we have the guy who sucks less on?
Well, I mean, you're going to suck a little bit,
Well,
but less than usual.
I thought we were discussing that later. Well,
On an entirely unrelated note, I've been editing together our interview with Chris Rose today, and he's got a beautiful analogy, Will, about how he sees you as a builder. He
wonderful.
describes you as a school child putting his foot in the door just as the teacher is about to begin the class.
I'm not late, technically.
so, Sean, what's our topic of the day?
Our topic for today is big personalities. These are, robots that have drivers that pretty much steal the show whenever they're on the screen.
I mean, I can talk about that. That's pretty fun. I kind of stole the limelight from my team captain on Battlebots. That was cool. And I'm sure Jeremy doesn't resent me for it one bit. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Please let me on Splody Boy too. So, who wants to go first? Who wants to discuss their robot of choice?
I'm more than happy to step up. I'm well prepared for this one. I've had plenty of time to make notes.
I should state for the record, I'm refereeing this one for the folks at home.
What? Refereeing? We've
Yeah,
only had you for a week and you're already refereeing.
We're putting a lot of trust in you, but we believe in you, Sean. You got this.
I can't pretend that I'm not going to be a very, very biased referee.
That's fine. We've broken the rules enough on this show.
This show is enough of a shambles anyway.
Exactly. Right.
I'm more than happy to jump in if somebody's got my time.
Time on the clock. I have your time at your 2 minutes.
3 minutes?
On the clock around. No, you're having 2 minutes. I've decided now because we haven't recorded in a while, so I've decided to turn it down to 3.
Turn it down to 3? Sure.
Yes.
I'll take that.
Okay, you have all of 3 minutes on the clock. Go for it.
My robot today is Sir Chromalot. It could really only be one when you're talking about big personalities. I tried to think about perhaps some less well-known ones that wouldn't come straight to your mind, but it had to be the Class Act Boys. Normally, when a robot is silver and featureless, you consider that a bad thing. But Steve Merrill and Ray Tate and his rotating cast of other team members across the years, they really brought a level of acting and showmanship to the show. The suits, the Rolls Royce, the smoke effects, the cheerleader routines, and the dancing in the arena, that even when the robot itself didn't necessarily make too much of a song and dance in the arena, the actions of the teams themselves made it an incredibly memorable viewing experience, enough to get it into the All-Stars competition in Extreme 2. And pretty much every time Chromalot came onto the TV screen, the Robot Wars production team were more than happy to give them center stage to mess around with their antics. And I think they're one of the few teams that adapted well to the wrestling format of Robot Wars Extreme. Them and the Plunderbird team had a hilarious grudge match episode to find the showmen of Robot Wars. And the two of them were just allowed to relax into just playing a character rather than trying to trash talk each other's mums. They really found a good face to present on the show. And yeah, like I say, I think they made a memorable addition anytime they were on screen. And on top of that, the robot itself improved quite a bit over the years, starting with just some static spikes. I believe originally they were planning a full-body spinner, which would have been crazy in Series 3. Awful, depending on how that went. But by the time they hit Series 6, I think we've got undeniably one of the best group battles that the show ever produced against ICU, GBH2, and the Alien, which they were on the winning side of. Yeah, I think that pretty much rounds out my opening statement on Sir Chromalot. They were showmen, and they had a pretty good robot.
You have just under a minute left if you want to keep going.
No, you said 2 minutes. I'm going to use 2 minutes.
Sure. All right. Opening it up.
Absolutely, I am.
I love Sir Chromalot. It's not the most exciting robot, but we're talking about the teams primarily here, and they had that knocked out of the park. Like, hot damn, were they so fun to watch. And whenever they were on your screen, you always knew you were good for either a laugh or, I'll admit, a slight cringe every now and again. The cheerleader bit was a token of its time, I think.
I would agree with that, and I don't know. I think maybe you do the robot a little bit of an injustice by saying that it's just the team that makes it interesting.
I mean, it's not the most exciting. I'm not saying it's not exciting.
I think this is true. It's not exciting in the same way that a Hypnodisc or a Firestorm is. But one of the other robots I did consider bringing on was the Grim Reaper from Series 7, which has got a lot of similar antics and costumes. But the robot itself being a lot more generic, I found it just a lot more forgettable. I mean, they both pull the same tactic of having bodyguards in the Chromalot sense and the Grim Reaper itself in Team Grim Reaper standing over the judges to try and sway their opinion. Uh, which was entertaining both times, but I think particularly for the Chromalot boys, just the style and the confidence in which they pulled off the characters they played on the show, I think really what made them stand out for me.
Well, thoughts on Chromalot?
I will concede that they do have the on-screen antics. That said, that's all they've got. And I think if the whole point is who is the best personality as both a team and as a robot, then your robot has to perform. And in that capacity, I do not think that Sir Chromalot is living up to the expectations of the most out there robot. It's not there.
Does a robot with a big team personality that does not so well not add to the comedic effect? Not to shoot myself in the foot a little here, but Nelly, maybe?
Certainly, but I think if you're going to prioritize exclusively showmanship and not focus at all on the robot and just keep it as the same rim from year to year to year off of some 18-wheeler, then you're limiting yourself into how extreme your antics can go.
Bold of you to assume they never found and took apart another 18-wheeler.
No, I assume that they found one in the parking lot before filming started, and they're like, oh, okay, crap, let's throw this together, and they just stole it, like probably slashed the tires, and.
Are you saying it was one of the production trucks, basically?
I am just blatantly, without any probable cause, accusing them of theft and defacing of production vehicle. Yes.
I mean, they did turn up with a big sort of tractor trailer truck setup in Series 4 with all the cheerleaders on. Maybe it was an 18-wheeler and then they just stole a few.
Go back to that episode. It's 17 wheels. Mark my words.
We're going to zoom and enhance and find out that,
Prove me wrong.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong, did they not show up in a helicopter at one point, or is that only Plunderbird that have done that? I thought Chromalot had done it too.
I don't remember myself, but having said that, I didn't watch every single fight that Chromalot had in preparation for this.
Sean, referee involvement. Fact checker.
Pass. All I was going to say was, Philistine, you're going to defend Chromalot, yet you haven't watched all their fights. You're not a real fan.
And I never claimed to be one.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, Will. I think Robot Wars tried to pitch Chromalot perhaps a little bit higher than the team themselves were aiming for. I mean, it got a seeding in Series 4 after winning one fight. Yeah, 27th seed in Series 4 after beating Shell Shock and then losing to Big Brother.
I've never heard of a bigger consolation prize in my life. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, I think again, they were included in the All Stars in Extreme 2, and I think they were definitely well outclassed by Dan Tomkia, Hypnodisc, and Smidsy to a lesser extent, but still they were the weakest robot in that melee. But I don't think that that's a reflection on the build itself. I will again go back to the opening melee of Series 6 against GBH2, ICU, and the Aliens, which is an incredibly close battle. ICU goes out fairly early on, but still makes a fairly good account of itself compared to a lot of first-round losers. But the other three are going all throughout the rest of the battle. Self-righting, flipping, every robot gets hits in, every robot does damage. And yeah, these are not necessarily like bad robots that it's up against. GBH2 is a veteran returning team from Series 2.
And GBH2 is a pretty solid bot as well, actually.
Hmm.
To give it credit.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
I shit on GBH quite a little bit, but like to give it actual credit and be honest, like GBH2 is a solid robot. I can't discredit
Yeah.
that.
And the same would go, I would say, for the Alien, your prehistoric Tauron. Again, it never did particularly well.
The Monsoon Before Time.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
I now just need the Monsoon team dressed as dinosaurs. Do you think we can organize this?
I mean, we can ask them when we get them on the podcast.
I will give Tim a call.
Oh.
I think I'm ready to cast my judgment on Chromalot. I think I'm ready to throw down the
Has
gauntlet.
Will got more to say?
No, I think my point is made. A shtick alone does not a great team make.
Harsh cuts, deep cuts.
It is a harsh assessment, but I think compared to a lot of the competition, they were very memorable, and they always managed to get out a laugh in some way or another. Be that the cringy cheerleading, the flamboyant entrances, or the 1998 word art on the Chromalot flag.
Oh god, I forgot about the word art.
It's funny looking back at design decisions like that, and like how Comic Sans was so popular.
Oh my
god,
god.
I was
Yeah.
about to say I might just put my next robot's name on it in papyrus or something.
Oh my
Like these fonts that just weren't overused at the time, but have since.
Hypershock, but all in chiller font.
Oh boy.
I think I remember Iron Ore 2.1 having Comic Sans, and I was just when I saw that, I was like, why?
Because Gilbert Grimm?
Robot designs will forever amaze me sometimes.
Grandfather of the Flipper makes him a boomer, and therefore he has not got proper tech literacy and knows how bad Comic Sans is.
Boom. Fan theory.
I think we should start naming all our robots in wingdings.
Oh man, this next fight is little ambulance, little building, little car, little ship's wheel versus several ducks.
My favorite is several ducks. They're the best.
Terrible answer. That's not even duck, it's tombstone.
I mean, you could just go for several of flipping Clusterbot Duck from Robot Wars Series 10, part of the Swarm.
Oh my god,
Oh
yes.
no. Yeah, good call. Okay, actually, can we get that versus like Hal Rucker's latest duck? Because that would just.
I mean, we would, but
That'd be a
I'm pretty sure that Clusterbot still hasn't touched the ground.
They say if you look up at night, you see a shooting star, but it's actually just two of the swarm.
Oh my god.
Okay, all right, I'm ready to vote. Sean, organize the
Yeah,
voters.
okay, all right.
Call an election.
All right, Reira, how do you wish to vote for this one?
I plead guilty. No, so I have been torn. I have been very difficult to make this decision, but Will's point won me over until I realized how detrimental to Nelly that would seem. I don't think that a bot has to be good for a team to be enjoyable and for the personality to be big. So in the terms of tonight's theme, arena.
Okay, and Will, what is your final decision?
I agree with Reira's initial hunch before she incorrectly assumed that Nelly is not competitive.
We're not there to win. We're there to hit things and
Doesn't mean you're not
eat meals.
competitive.
Sure.
I'm giving it a big fat horse neigh. It's going in the pit.
Oh, so
Tie break,
oh
tie
god,
break,
this
tie
lies on
break.
me now, doesn't it? Oh Jesus!
Good thing you're not biased.
Ah.
No, it doesn't. Have you not even watched the show you're part of, Sean?
I have. I've gotten all nervous.
It's all right, don't worry.
Oh, God.
I mean, by that logic, then, Will, Hypershock in 2018 was a small personality. Hypershock had small PP confirmed.
Oh,
Oh.
Oliver.
There's a reason why we had to come in for season 4 saying we had to suck less.
Oh my god.
I have not changed my mind. I'm sticking staunchly to the fact that I think a team can be entertaining even if the robot itself lacks success in the arena, because I think Chromalot itself was still entertaining. Had fights where, like the fight with S3, where it was constantly backing away and trying to tempt it into the pit. Didn't make a very entertaining fight in a serious way, but if you're looking at it comedically, it was
Sure.
incredibly entertaining. I'm going to vote to send Sir Chromalot to the arena.
Oh, there we have it. It just barely gets by on a 2-1 into the arena. Thank goodness. I was about to just say that Oliver and Will should just fight it out back to decide.
I mean, no holds barred. Fox, Final Destination, no items.
Oh, Christ.
Right, screw it. I'm going to throw down next. I could do this. So I have brought a big personality paired with a very quiet but still big personality paired with a robot that just screams in gold. Brought Ragnarok to the table.
Are you calling Tim fat?
No. Tim is my big Wookiee friendo, and he knows that I would never mean him no harm. Apart from when I beat his ass at Magic the Gathering.
You
but,
would
know.
never mean him no harm, which means that you would mean him some harm.
Who doesn't?
Stop reading into my crypticisms.
Oh.
Give me 3 minutes on the clock, oh timekeep.
All right. Your 3 minutes starts now.
So, 2019 season of Battlebots, we have lost the unison of Tim and Tom for Monsoon. Tim has broken off, not in any way of bad blood, despite the fact that Battlebots would have you believe so. Tim has gone, fuck it, I want to make O Thumper, but Norse themed. So he gathers up the Tweedmeister, Mr. Jack of Tweedy. He gathers up some other friends, and he slam dunks down on this wonderful Axbot that unfortunately was plagued with more issues than a UK Brexit vote under Russian influence.
I feel like we could do that. We could just end the episode right there. We're not topping that.
I mean, we could be even more topical. More issues than America's coronavirus strategy.
Oh shit!
Subscribe to
So-
ESC.
to keep myself on topic during my time on it, Ragnarok took everything that O Thumper was. It took a powerful axe to the point where it literally leaped into the air, put it onto a smaller frame than you typically see on a axe weight of that axe bot of that weight class, and put all of the thought into frontal armor, which of course I love because my napalms, and all that axe power. Unfortunately, with every single gremlin going, we had a bit of a season 2 maximum ogre drive issue of the coolest damn bot doing not so hot. But I think the fact that Tim brought his real damn axe out to the arena, screamed to the heavens every single match, and still brought that lovable personality with the, again, like I said, quiet but, needle sharp Tweedy behind him at every step of the way. I don't think you can go wrong. I don't think you can deny that this team brought big personality to the bot. And I don't think that you could deny that had it worked how it intended to work, they'd have brought a devastating hammer into the battle box. I'm done. I'll mic drop.
Well, I'm just going to say my first comment, and that is, when I said earlier about I can't promise I'd be the most unbiased referee ever, it's because I love Tim, and also I have a soft spot for Ragnarok. As poorly as it did, I felt like there was something there. All right, now I'll leave the floor for you all to debate this.
Fight me, Will and Oliver.
All right, I'll go first. Okay. So, seeing my previous stance about showmanship needs to be tied with at least some competitiveness, I would argue that this is the worst showing of Tim as a big personality. You look at Concussion, you look at Monsoon, his time on Monsoon, arguably far more memorable, and the robot did way better.
Ooh.
That's all I need to say.
You have a valid point in the fact that, you get to see more of Tim if he's doing well. But I don't think that you can discount the fact that Ragnarok, especially pre-filming, had so much hype built up around it and had so much love for it. And even after filming, people still adore the bot. I still adore it. Sean still adores it. It's a robot that is popular despite its downfalls. And I think given 20 minutes with that robot and a good amount of tools and materials, Tim could make that robot absolutely devastate. But I think he has given up the ghost and gone back to Monsoon instead, which is a fair call, because the reunition, fuck it, it's a word now. The reunition of Tim and Tom, the power duo. Where can you go wrong?
You think that it needs a switch instead of a link?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Switch gang, switch gang.
Well, I think that also part of what makes a robot a really good personality depends on the environment it's in. And I would, again, argue that Concussion did a far better job of being a standout personality and robot in the reboot series of Robot Wars than Ragnarok did in the probably minute and a half of total airtime that they had last year.
I'm gonna jump in here, and I'm actually gonna side with Will, at least for the moment.
Fuck.
Get wrecked.
And I'll tell you why. I think Will is onto something with Ragnarok being the smallest personality of Tweedy and Rakka's robot TV careers. I
Yeah.
would go back to the 2018 season. For Tweedy, you had the stop he's already dead moment with Ice Wave and Vanquish getting split in half. Which was it was another big thing for the way that robot went. And their second fight against Shredderator, where Tim rejoined the team, who can forget the inflatable
Oh,
balloons?
the pool noodle. The pool
pool
noodle where he
noodles
just
on.
beats the shit out of. Oh, yeah. And I mean, covering it in googly eyes. They covered the bot in googly.
They did, and for Tim as well, that series being on the Monsoon team, even going into 2019 when Tim had temporarily left the team, still, big cries of Monsoon could be heard every time the robot was in the arena.
Monsoon!
That's Tim. That's Tim's legacy.
It is.
He's on a different team, and he's still making an impact.
Exactly.
He's
When you think
overshadowing
about-
himself from the past, Reira.
So what you're saying is that Ragnarok did a great job of making Monsoon look good.
What I'm saying is that of the personalities that you remember from BattleBots Series 3, Reboot Series 3, you remember Monsoon and Tim, and you remember Vanquish and Tweedy. Going into the 2019 series, I would argue that there are other builders with other antics. Mammoth, in particular, is one that springs to
Mad
mind.
Catter.
Mad Catter.
Sure.
That take center stage. There are figures and faces that I remember more from
Even Nelly.
even Nelly, that I remember more from from watching the show than I do
Sure.
with Ragnarok. And I'll give you the fact that on paper is a very competitive looking design, and the way that they hyped up the fight between Monsoon and Ragnarok was setting this robot on a path to be another big personality. But I think the amount of wiring problems and complete rebuilds of the robot they had to do over the event maybe sapped the morale of the team a little bit. And
You think it just didn't cash in on the hype? You think that Ragnarok sort of had a potential but didn't reach it?
as both a robot and as team members and their antics on the show.
That's a heartbreakingly bleak look at it, but I respect your point. I respect both of your points on this.
Now you got to come back at us, Reira. Where's your counterattack?
No, the thing is that you make a really valid point to the fact, and I think the point that you like turned me on the most was the fact that Tim did a better job of making Monsoon look good when he wasn't on Monsoon. As in, like, him not being on Monsoon didn't mean that he wasn't on Monsoon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Am I braining wrong?
I mean, you even had Suv sort of jumping into Tim's shoes and almost trying to recapture that, and he did a good job, but
Yeah.
he just wasn't Tim.
And the thing was that you knew he'd taken a Tim role, and it was Tim's spot,
Yeah.
as it were.
And I hate to shit on this robot because it had a bad enough time as it was, and
And the legacy behind it, Thumter kicked ass TIFR.
just little things like the way that Valkyrie took out the axe gear just got in its way of really putting on the performance that it deserved to show.
Yeah.
The only win that it got was in a rumble with Monsoon, and
It was Maximum Ogre Drive in Battlebots Season 2. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
that being said, if Ragnarok or Vanguard makes a return to the arena,
Which is looking real sick.
oh, it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
To speak of
Yeah,
another thing.
yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
The control bot aspect, the wedge aspect, just the design and integration of the theme into
The
the
fact
robot.
that Tweedy's building a multi-bot makes me very happy.
Tweedy's building a multi-bot? This is news to me.
That's what Vanguard's going to be.
Is
It's
it?
going to have different modes.
What?
Oh.
He admitted it on the post about the
Oh no, is it
control bot
sorry,
front.
like a Swiss Army bot? I
Yeah.
thought you meant like a
Oh.
cluster bot.
Oh,
No. Multi-bot as in multi-weapon.
oh, fair enough.
Right.
I love the idea of Tweedy bringing something that has an answer to each opponent. That excites me. But again, that's huge amounts of hype. And
For a
to
different
speculate
robot.
for a moment, could I get for a different robot? Yeah, good point. But could we then see a repeat of Ragnarok here, where the robot looks fantastic on paper and looks really enjoyable on paper and looks really cool,
Please don't
and
start
then it
trying
goes into the arena?
to bring the Danby curse onto the Tweedy team.
I was just thinking, as a fan of Danby robots, like I know this pain very well.
Yes.
Oh man, but I think now we should come to the vote on Ragnarok. So Oliver,
I hate to do this. I really do, because the team has a big personality and they are sort of good showmen on TV, but I know that they are all capable of more. From a robot building perspective, yeah, it didn't quite work out, but from like a showmanship perspective, okay, they had other things to focus on, but I know that the team have created more memorable moments on different robots. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put it in the pit.
that was so apprehensive. That was like some of mice and men shit at the air. Will, I don't think I need to ask, but what is your stance, pit or arena?
I totally agree. This is not a reflection of the builders. This is just a reflection of this particular, season's efforts. We all have bad seasons. Hypershock had a abysmal season 3, and you just have to come back from that and do something better. We came back with another Hypershock. They're coming back with different robots. So it just means that Ragnarok as a robot and as a team of Tim and Tweedy just didn't make the cut. So they're in the pit.
Oh god, so Reira, I'm so sorry.
No, I want to hear what she says.
Forgive me, Tim. Pit.
Oh,
You bringing up of mice and men, Sean, has just brought this this image into my head of tell me about the robots, George.
Oh no!
I made a meme very similar to that with like Robot Wars and BBC Two, and it was just like we'll have an Axebot and a Cluster Bot, and I'll get the flipper, and I get to tend to the spit.
Why would you do this? Wait, in this situation, who's Curly?
We are.
Oh my god, Reira. While Ragnarok is going into the pit, I'm just going to say, quick plan. After the recording, we just got to hide Tim and take him into the arena. In fact, quick vote, everyone. Tim Racker's arena. Everyone say aye.
For sure. Aye.
Yeah, sure.
Without question.
3-0. Tim Racker's going to the arena.
Tim by himself with the axe off of Ragnarok would be fine.
He stands a pretty good chance.
While you all were talking, I was just like, the reason I wasn't saying much is because I was just thinking, when they're all done, I'm just going to say Tim in the arena.
All right, well, it's down to our mystery guest,
All right.
our king of the high personality, the Neon Bot Master himself. What have you brought?
Okay. I'm going to start my timer. I think I can do it in 2 minutes. Let's go. Okay. So in the last 2 points that you have attempted to make, you're talking about big personalities with poorly performing robots. I think personally that it's very important to have a competitive robot. Even if, to your point, Reira, that you don't always win, you need to be competitive. You need to have something interesting. And in the new embodiment of Battlebots since 2015, the production company has pushed the importance of a team personality, a robot personality, not another silver box with 4 wheels and a spinning weapon. There is one robot that I have a love affair with the most, and it is Kraken. Kraken embodies exactly what Battlebots wanted. When they pitched this show to ABC back in fall of 2014, they wanted Kraken. They wanted Matt Spurk and his family all in costumes. They didn't want fake personalities, but they wanted aesthetics. That was one of the interesting nuances that they wanted in the new show that I don't think people have picked up on. They didn't want people pretending to be big shots with a helicopter. They wanted real people with real robots, but with a theme. And I think that Kraken has done that the best and actually has a pretty awesome robot, and it's driven amazingly. And they've done it in a real DIY everyman kind of way. And So with 1 minute and 40 seconds in, I think that Matt Spurk and Kraken have my heart, and they should belong in the arena. Done.
Ooh, that's a short, sweet argument. Now, let's see which of you wants to come in first to either back Will up or fight him to the death.
Break Matt's heart. I dare you.
I love Kraken so much. There is nothing better. There's nothing I want more than for a Nelly versus Kraken fight where we get to boop the snoot.
Can I just say, one of my favorite things about robots, about robot design, is when they integrate both the functionality and the form of the robot together. It's one of the reasons that I bought the Stag way back when. Yes, we're bringing up that robot again because
I can hear Mitch growling in the distance.
because of the shape of the robot and the way that the claws work, also fit with the theme of it being a beetle. Kraken is exactly the same. It's got this beautiful reptilian head, which also doubles as a crusher. And on top of that, yeah, Matt's done something in a sort of DIY achievable kind of way. When you look at the way that it's built, it's not all beautifully CNC'd. It's something that you could make.
It's no Spectre.
But at the same time, it's doing something that nobody else is doing. I've mentioned this before on the podcast that if you'd said to me 5 years ago that in 2020 you will be seeing robots that have a powerful hydraulic flipper and a pneumatic crusher, both of which doing really, really good jobs, I would have laughed in your face. But they've come up with a way to use air to create a quick firing and powerful clamp system that has done damage to things like the treads on Red Devil. It is not the most effective design, and I don't think it's aiming to be, but it is good at what it does.
But to give Will's point credit, it's competitive. I think as well, one of my favorite things about Kraken is the fact that no matter how threatening Kraken looks, we've had the slightly derpy 2018 season Kraken that looked really bug-eyed and happy. And then we've got the 2020 Kraken
It's awesome.
that's like gone it's gone black and it's got red eyes and it looks like it just wants to take a bite out of your vehicle rather than your robot.
It's cool shit. I love it.
They are still the same cheerful, happy Steven Spurk dressed up in an octopus costume, It's exactly what Battlebots should be. It's exactly what Roboteering should be.
They've gone all in on the costumes too. The pirate outfits, the bandanas, the tricorn hats, the sea monster costume, and the little narwhal mini bots.
Oh yeah, that was wonderful.
Oh, what's it called? Oh no,
They've got the weight to throw in just a little sort of.
it's got an
nuisance
adorable
bot.
name, and I've completely forgotten what it's called.
Sean, you're our ref. Can you go away and find out the name of this robot?
I'm looking. I'm trying. The wiki just says that they're mini bots. Kraken's mini bot. I'm like, come on, man. Oh, Tadpole.
Oh,
Perfect.
Oh, Will, thank you. I couldn't find it.
Will, would you like a referee?
Would you like the third spot on ESC? It's been a great run. You're 2 episodes in.
Yeah, I can't talk about how much I love that team and that robot enough. There is nothing I could fault that robot for other than the fact that I want to fight it and I haven't fought it yet.
I mean, one frustrating thing about the BattleBots wiki is that it can sometimes be a little bit sparse compared to the Robot Wars wiki. But we do have an interesting picture at the bottom of the wiki of an alternative design for Kraken submitted in a second application, which is a vert.
Oh,
yeah.
Look at that.
There's an even earlier version where it was a horizontal disc. So you just put that big vertical disc sideways. And he may have been able to rotate it 90 degrees.
I'm glad they didn't build a spinner Kraken.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
I greatly admire him for that.
Yeah. The big googly eyes kind of remind me a little bit of Dwayne Nibley.
Yes. When are we getting a Dwayne Nibley?
I know unbiased ref, but I still really love the Kraken versus Robot fight because that was two lovely robots that I just adored in BattleBots facing each other.
And you got to see the Crusher do quite a lot of damage to all that foam as
Yeah,
well.
you really did.
Which has sadly meant that foam is now outlawed going into the next series. But
Trust me, you wanted outlawed. It was a mess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not saying much doing damage and to foam, not to shoot down, but playing devil's advocate for a moment. That's like saying, and it did so much damage, that flamethrower against the wood. I'm so shocked.
But here's the thing. Kraken beat Ribot and Ribot beat Endgame. So that means Kraken is better than Endgame.
I'm pretty sure that's what that
I
means.
don't think that's how that
That is
works.
just trust me. Sources do trust me.
For the sake of this debate, that's how that works.
I'm
Sure.
glad that they went with the pneumatic crusher though, just because it is so different. And looking at the design for that spinner, who knows how well it would have worked, but the amount of teeth on it suggests that it may not have been as effective as what they ended up going with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I really love to compare, and I said it earlier as well, Spectre and Kraken as well, because they are to completely and utterly take everything out of context for a moment, they are essentially aiming for the same bot. They are aiming for the end of another robot via crushing, but they are so different ends of the stick. You've got this clean, concise, professional, every bit of money the Coopers could throw at it robot with, Spectre, and the generative design as well. And then you've got Matt Spurk and his family having fun and building a fishy bot. And I prefer to watch that. Like I'm a builder. I'm an engineer for robots. I do that shit, and I'd prefer to watch the silly fishy robot get thwacked in the head by, a purple elephant than I would ever want to watch, silver generative design crusher goes against generic four-wheel Bert spinner.
They're different experiences to watch. Quantum, I don't think, has quite lived up to the same hype that Spectre did, but watching Spectre in the original run of King of Bots, clamping into robots and racing around at speed, delivering them to all the arena hazards, was incredibly entertaining.
That's why I went for Spectre over them for the comparison, because Spectre did a lot more than Quantum did. And as much as I liked Quantum, it was there.
I think the robot with the bigger personality is Kraken, because they're going
Yeah.
all in
Hmm.
and bringing smiles and costumes and having a laugh. And if the robot flops hard, that just adds to the enjoyment factor for me.
I think my last point I want to make is the fact in the dream world where Battlebots is held in the same regard and with the same amount of money behind it than the professional sports, your NFL, your Premier League, your whatever. In that world, I want there to be people running around in little pirate costumes going, "Aren't I the best? Aren't I the best Kraken?" And that's my point. That's the fact that could happen in an ideal world. That's my point.
That's a world I want to live in.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to call the votes. And honestly, this is probably the happiest vote calling I've had this entire episode, besides the Tim vote. So now we'll call about Kraken. So, Reira, why don't you start off the Kraken votes? Pit or arena?
There is no way in hell I could put this thing in the pit. It's going to the arena, and I am absolutely happy to put it there.
Oh, and Oliver? Oliver, what do you think?
I am going to put Kraken in the arena. However, I'm going to put it right on the rim of the pit.
Ooh.
I'm putting out a challenge to Matt Spurk.
Okay.
If in BattleBots 2020 I see flossing from your team, that robot is going way down.
So Will, in the inevitable Hypershock Nelly fight, we're all flossing, right?
I guess, yeah, apparently.
Yeah, defo. Deal.
Oh my god. And with that, that'll be Kraken going to the arena.
Hang on a minute. There's someone who hasn't voted yet.
Oh, I just assumed that was just a...
Well, after this very even-sided debate, I know it's a tough decision, so I really have to think about this. But
It's okay. Take
think,
your time, Will. Take your time.
I think I'm going to put Kraken in the pit, and I'm going to stick the pit permanently up, so it's sitting on top of the pit, but it's inside the arena, so it doesn't matter if the wheels are on, so they can do flossing until the end of time.
And
very
that is
convoluted.
beautiful. Oh my god. And with that is Kraken in the arena. So a fairly positive end to it all there.
I'm really happy with that, actually. I'm surprised you guys managed to change my opinion on Ragnarok enough for me to put one of my favorite robots from that series into the pit, but your points were very valid. I just hate you for it.
Insert Jeremy Clarkson's smug face.
Oh my god.
I'd like to punch Jeremy Clarkson in his smug fucking face. All right, Sean, bring us in for the end.
Oh my god.
That sounds more ominous than I wanted to.
It's 2020. Anything could happen.
Oh my goodness. Well,
So
it's really hot in this room. I'm sweating. I hope I haven't forgotten some set outro for this show.
No, all you got to do is just wrap us up where the robots have gone and introduce us for outros and promos.
Okay, thank goodness. It's really hot in here. I had to turn the fan off just so you didn't just hear the entire time. Okay. Well, there you have it. That's another episode of ESC. Sir Chromalot just barely making it into the arena. Ragnarok in the pit. Tim Racker's in the arena. And Kraken also in the arena. All in all, a very positive episode. Oh, it's so fucking hot in here. Anyway, we hope you all enjoyed this episode of ESC. I've been Sean.
Where can we find you, Sean?
You can find me on TheDominusIgnis, where I build robots that rarely ever win anything on Robot Arena 2.
Where can we find you, Oliver?
You can find me over at Team Motte and Bailey. I have nearly finished my new Beetle. There will be a video of that probably uploaded by now. And as soon as we get an event, I'll be on my way.
Where can we find you, Reira? Thank you, Reira. We can find Reira. You can find Reira on Nelly. You can find me on Shum posting in the Battlebots group as a mod. And most importantly, you can find me on Trans-Cendant Robotics, where I have started working on the interior electronics for Holy Diver, and I'm making it damn strong. This thing is going to be the bite force of the UK Beetle scene, and I am doubling down on it.
I want it to be the most dominant robot to ever exist. I want that to be like, one day we look at like the Robot Combat Hall of Fame and there's just Holy Diver right there.
That's the aim.
And Will, where can we find you?
You can find me in Denmark at the moment, hiding out from America.
I do not blame you.
And you can find me through Hypershock at Hypershock TV for Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And I got suckered into being a mod on Shunt posting also. So go abuse me there.
Sarah has her ways. That's all I can say. You wake up and just suddenly you have mod privileges and have no idea what to do.
You've been voluntold.
Oh my god. And with that all being said, please remember to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more. And we will see you all next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Slam that bell.
Bye.
Good evening and welcome to ESC. No, not Enigma. Fuck.
Perfect.
No,
Good evening.
not Enigma fuck.
We've all done it, Sean. Don't worry.